Yes, we'll be back from the break. You're still watching Smart Means Business. I'm Anju Barigi. It's your daily Kickstarter. Of course, definitely here as we're driving your business. But still on top of this, I'd love to remind you that the Markets on the Zabo platform are on. Started out into hash is simply the code for you there, which will avail you with options where you'll be in position to actually buy government bonds and securities for just 15,000. You get shillings. Now the markets open at exactly 8:15 a.m. running all the way to 3:15 p.m. that is East African time, effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends and the public holidays when those markets cannot be accessed. But of course, despite that, you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make money, something which I believe is quite very key and instrumental when it comes to your financial development as an individual. So Zabo, maybe it's a reality for you. You can buy these bonds and securities for that fee. And also remember, on top of Start 292 hash, you need to register with your national identification number and also your card number at the same time. Now Zabo simply says, my money, my future, and Altix East Africa tells you, well, you gotta do something new for yourself. Remember, it is 2023. Well, still with Honorable, that is Geoffrey Kanya, and we're discussing matters to do with urbanization and economic development. He's the Member of Parliament, Toro North. Okay, Honorable. We've still taken a look at planning to foster long-term infrastructure planning when it comes to urban development to foster long-term economic growth, and you mentioned something to do with compensation costs because we've seen projects delay, construction projects really delay so hard. Now recently there is one that is happening at Nakawa Port Bell Road, and they find that there is quite lots of congestion, and people are worried that this might actually last for some good time. That traffic congestion due to the delays in that. So what do you have to say about that, such an issue?
Basically, these are governance issues. If you have poor governance, it leads to breakdown of most of the service delivery systems. Because the government in Africa, and especially in Uganda, thrive by benefiting from the dividends of non-enforcement of the laws.
Okay.
So you find that somebody who has put up a structure by the roadside is a serious mobilizer of the regime.
Okay.
And is connected to the regime power.
True.
And so you find that the institutions and the individuals who are supposed to enforce and ensure that there is proper fiscal planning and compliance, they're intimidated.
Okay.
And so then the cost comes to your pocket and my pocket. So we need to wake up, and government need to realize that there is time for politics, there is time to offer services.
Perfect.
And the people of Uganda must demand that we need to have standard and equality. You would not allow company A to build in the swamp, then tomorrow we spend a lot of money to clean the water that we need in the city.
Yeah.
Because of pollution. Do not allow company A to build along the roadside knowing that the road will be widened in the next 3-4 years because it has privileged information.
Yeah.
So it's poor governance that we need to ensure that. I remember in Kenya when Raila was the Prime Minister, all people had built along the roadside. Their property, their buildings were broken down and were not compensated. That's how they managed to put up the superhighway, the road network you see in Nairobi. The Thika, the Mombasa highway. Okay. Because people had built along the way. The government took a decision, said we are going to, your plan was approved illegally. We are going to break all the buildings that have blocked us from widening the road network, providing sewage facility, providing power lines, breaking down without compensation. And if you guys to put it up, we will break it down when you are connected to the first family. And it works. So you need good governance.
Okay, that's
at the end of the day. If you don't have good governance, we will suffer all these diseases. You will have people residing in places where it's supposed to be industrial area. People residing near hospitals and playing music.
Exactly.
Poor planning. How do you have a disco hall next to a hospital?
Next to a hospital, yeah, true. Absolutely, by the way.
So you find that we need to ensure there's good governance, we ensure that the right people are in office. People cannot be intimidated, people cannot fear. But also as citizens, it's proper that you follow physical planning program of government, because this land that you are going to put up or a property will last for generations. You don't need to leave your children and grandchildren in a situation where now tomorrow they have to fight with the state. And you see in some countries like Nigeria, Tanzania, where they failed to follow proper physical planning, they had to move the city out. That Tanzania therefore had to move their capital city from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma. And Nigeria, they had to move their city to...
From, it was Abuja?
Yes, to Lagos.
To Lagos, yeah.
And try to, even here, we may have to leave Kampala to make the commercial city and move somewhere to the center. And there's a debate that maybe, of course, everybody would want the city to be in that place. Maybe they bring it to Tororo, maybe the necessary land, the capital city. But we can have it in Nakasongola. Nakasongola seems to be central.
The central, yeah.
It's not populated. The land is available. So proper planning to start afresh.
Okay.
But that has to come with the proper governance.
Proper governance. Now, Honorable, when we look at what is happening lately, the World Bank's ban to lend money to Uganda due to the anti-homosexuality law, what does that mean for our infrastructure in the coming 10 years?
The World Bank story about homosexuality and homosexuality is a threat in the air.
Threat in the air? Okay.
Yes, just a threat, a talk.
They don't mean it.
It won't happen, and nobody should lose sleep. People are employed by the World Bank here in Uganda. If we get, for example, about 10 trillion equivalent Uganda shilling for program in a year, the greatest beneficiary will take about 2 trillion shillings. The World Bank and the consultant who come from Europe and America. So the funding of the government of Uganda, like for schools and so forth, is meant to create jobs for the Americans, meant to create jobs for the Europeans, and people within the World Bank who fly in here first class. They stay in Serena Hotel. They are paid hundreds of millions shillings as consultants, as supervisors.
Supervisors, yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, let them stop funding and you see we'll lose it most. A poor person who used to eating cassava and sleeping in open place cannot suffer malaria and die of hunger very fast. But you bring somebody who has been sleeping in Serena Hotel, under mosquito net, well sprayed place, let him stay outside for a day, will he die? So the Americans, the Europeans are the first victims of, in case they do it.
Yes.
What they want to use it as a negotiation string to cause some people to go to court to ensure that the law is repealed. In the United States of America, the American court has abolished homosexuality, by the way. This is gay marriage, you know it.
The gay marriage, yeah.
Yes, in some states it's not even there.
It's not accepted.
It is illegal. So, for them to come here when the Republicans don't believe in it, and the Republicans have been ruling America here in their judges. So, if the Republicans don't believe, why do they expect us, what's the name of the current president? Joe Biden.
Is a Democrat.
Yes, so this is just a few Democrats, by the way. So people of Uganda should not lose sleep. The funding will come because the greatest beneficiary are the Americans. Secondly, this money we pay back. It is a loan.
It's not that.
And also it should teach the government of Uganda to be frugal, to be disciplined. Let us mobilize resource and then develop ourselves. And Uganda government is a member of the World Bank. We are shareholders. If we mobilize all African countries, pull out of the World Bank will be a share. Because their major funding goes to third world countries. And we have very high interest rate.
So they have made lots of money from third world countries.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just hot air, hot talk.
Okay. Now, of course, as we see urban centers become that is economic hubs for economic activities, how is the government addressing issues of income inequality and, of course, ensuring equitable distribution of opportunities at the same time among the different socio-economic groups in our country, Uganda?
Of course, there is attempt through programs that government is trying to create social programs like the parish model, the Mioga. There's a lot of funding going, a bit of funding now being put in agriculture after so many years of demanding. Government is now procuring tractors and giving farmers and also giving out seedlings. But we still have that to ensure there is a fair income distribution between the urban and the rural.
The rural, yeah.
Though we still have a challenge in terms of lack of proper investment in industrialization and value addition. I think the political class, basically in government, we need to have a serious business arm of government.
Serious business arm of government, yeah.
That is Uganda Development Corporation, to ensure that the government of Uganda, even in the US up now, the government still has shares, China and the UK. The government must invest. Because there are places which are hard to get profit in terms of investment in Karamoja, investment in some sectors which are supposed to be venture capital. Because we do not have venture capital, government should become the venture capital. The venture capital,
yeah, definitely.
To invest in industries and sectors that do not result in high return in short term, but long term, which will lead to job creation, lead to environmental protection. And meeting the sustainable development goal of the United Nations. And so, like agriculture, government need to invest in value addition chain, post-harvesting, handling, risk management.
Absolutely.
Through that, there will be fair distribution of income, and people will have disposable income, and they'll be able to consume to promote urbanization.
Okay. Very interesting.
Because urban centers with the poor people is not in urban. It is even worse than rural areas.
Rural areas.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why you find that there is adulteration in some urban centers. People, the way they roast Gina, they use poison to roast Gina. You know that story of that gentleman?
Yes.
Because of poor regulation of health services and food services in urban center. Management of people in urban center is very costly and requires very disciplined structure of government.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Of which without...
providing security, providing street lights, so that the investors can have peace. Because if the investors don't have peace, then they cannot invest and create jobs. So the cycle continues.
Okay.
So you need to ensure that people who are living in urban centers, there is discipline, so that the people who have money can fly in to invest.
Now, there is something...
without fear for their safety.
You mentioned safety. Recently, we've seen issues, of course, lots of clips on social media showing, different people being robbed. Yet we have cameras in the city, in the city center. Recently, we had issues of most especially people, mobile money agents being robbed all the time. So why? I'm trying to understand the current state of security within the urban centers in Uganda. Is it favorable enough to attract FDIs, for indirect investment, for investors to come and actually invest their money inside? Is it a safe city to invest money in?
By the way, Uganda is a safe city. These are incidences because of laxity of security personnel. Those cameras are meant to work, but I think we have poor supervisors.
That's the issue now.
There's poor supervisors, and the type of camera also that were installed, they were installed in hurry. They lack certain features.
The lack of features.
Yes.
Facial recognition.
Yes, and so forth. And at certain times they are not working.
Okay.
Small technical problem, they delay to rectify it, and so it leads to that. Then also we have a problem. Government needs to support police investigation and CID, and also support office of the DPP, support the magistrate to ensure that there is faster disposal of criminal-related crimes. But also we need to have rehabilitation programs, because these are petty crimes resulting in some of the young people who have moved away from rural areas after attaining universal primary education, universal secondary education, and have no means of survival.
Yes.
So these are issues that are related to survival and then security. So they are really petty thieves.
Okay.
But if not well managed, it can lead to serious being a negative factor in attracting foreign direct investment. So we need to nip it in the hand before it gets out of hand, and we need to ensure that there is a program that's designed to ensure that there is entrepreneurship for the young people. People are given hope and there's opportunity. You do not invest in human capital without having the necessary plan to deploy them.
Yes.
Then you are creating a club of rogues, which is very dangerous. People are educated but not schooled.
Okay.
Many young people desire to invest and spend time in social media world, thinking that in watching videos, TikToks, thinking that they can live like those artificial
exactly, yes.
Images that they see in the social network.
Social medias,
video,
yeah,
yes.
true.
And that is not proper for any country going forward.
Now let's take a look at the role of education in ensuring such an initiative.
There is a reform to improve our education, to make it a job
to create jobs.
Yes, to create jobs. The new syllabus seems to be addressing that, but in implementation, government has not provided the fund to support, because it's supposed to majorly practical. The teachers are not being well equipped and retooled properly. And the facility that is needed to be for this new curriculum that is practical out of classroom has not been provided. So we have a very good design, very good plan, but implementation poor. That is part of our major challenge in this country.
Okay, I see.
We have a lot of good documentation, good thinking that takes place, but implementation. We do not look at our basket, so that when we plan, we want to do everything at the same time. We need to focus so that we have enough pressure, enough energy, and say this year we are going to invest in education. Can we have other sectors to wait?
Okay.
You say for the next 3-4 years, let us do roads that will last for the next 30 years. So you put money in roads, and 30 years the roads are done.
Okay.
Then you say we invest in human capital, because once you sort out human capital, then you have people who then understand how good life is supposed to be. Then invest in agriculture. In agriculture, you invest in value addition and marketing. If a farmer knows my liter of milk will be bought at 10,000 shillings, but I must meet certain quality and standard, I can assure you, my brother, people will have this. They will not need free education. They will not need free health services. What they will pursue money, invest in the direct sector, knowing that my milk, whether price goes down, there is a government.
There is still government.
That will buy a liter of milk at 10,000. That my matoke will be bought not less than 10,000 shilling a bunch. That my beans will be bought at 10,000. Ugandans will invest in those sectors. And that's what a serious government needs to do. Identify the sector where the population will be more productive. And put energy. And then government creates what is called stabilization fund. The way we stabilize our currency through fiscal policy, mopping in and mopping out. When there is inflation and all the shilling becomes weak against the dollar. The same way we do that for the shilling, the physical space, we need to do that in the agriculture sector.
Okay.
And we shall be good to go. In the US recently, when there was economic slump, there's what we call the stimulus. The US government had to inject money.
Money, okay, yes.
Even the European government had to inject money, post-COVID economic stimulus package. You lower interest rate to zero, and you write off some of the debt.
Exactly.
So that people have disposable income to reinvest and create jobs, and then you have employed people.
Okay. Very, very interesting discussions in here. And my guest, Honorable Ekanya, that is Geoffrey, Member of Parliament, Toro North, and we've been discussing matters to do with that is urbanization and economic development. And of course, we come to the end of the show. Smart means business, but still I would love to remind you, don't forget channel 372, that's on DSTV, channel 320, that's on GOTV. And of course, on free to air, we are also available. And also go to your free to air decoder, and to your Google Play Store rather, and download the Smart 24 TV application. That is the digital, Smart Digital. Yes, you can be able to stream Smart 24 TV at any part of the country that you will be at. And also Smart 24 TV Live, that's on YouTube, where you can stream us at any part of the world you will be at, as we bring to you, that is both local and international business updates. Of course, I always say, keep your priorities right and be productive for the day. Till tomorrow, good morning.